Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Chipod Ironicast. This is a special supplemental episode, episode 6, coming at you between the April and May episodes because you've been so patient and so kind and so awesome. Like I said before, this one is going to have a very special guest, and so please introduce yourself as you would like to be introduced.
Hello, this is Snugglebeast.
Yeah? How did you get involved? How did you get here? How do you know me?
Well, we're married and I live here.
Oh, that's pretty great. Awesome.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the cutest podcast you've ever heard. If you're not down with cute things, you should just skip this one, come back next week, because there's going to be a lot of like smoochy noises.
Yeah. A lot of making out.
And I'm going to call you like Cuddle Muffin a few times.
Snug bug.
Yeah. But today, what we're here to do is do our, what is now annual tradition, I guess.
Yeah.
A C2E2 recap. It's the third one running.
Yep.
If you missed the first one, it was actually a guest spot on the Retsu Talk podcast 2 years ago.
And it was awesome because I was also on that one.
Yeah, it's a funny story. People yelled at us for not having you on mic better. But the thing was, the plan, you didn't want to be in it initially.
Yeah, I didn't plan to, but then you all kept talking and I just wanted to talk with you and set you straight about things.
So we were using a directional mic and you were on the wrong side of the room. And we didn't think to invite you to the proper side.
I didn't really want to move either.
So that's that. Last year, on the other hand, at this same show, we did our big Let's Play panel, and it was Chip and I, and Voidburger, and Bob of Many Names, and Geop. Yep. And you can see video of the panel on Bob's YouTube channel, which is She Sells She Shells. And I think
I missed out on that recording because I was dying of a fever.
Yeah. We also did a post debrief podcast, and I believe that is on our Chip Cheese MLP's channel. Look for it a year back.
Yeah.
But now we're here in 2015 in the present.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy the show?
It was great.
Yeah?
Crazy, different, but great.
It was different because there was a bit in the middle where I thought it was awful.
Yeah.
And now, after things that happened later, which we are bound to get to when we get to it, yeah, it was a lot of fun overall.
What it basically
it certainly made up for that awful middle bit.
What it basically comes down to is C2E2 has grown a lot. And at times they weren't necessarily prepared for how much it has grown.
Yeah.
And we weren't necessarily prepared for
how much it's grown.
Yes. But it was still a great time.
Mm-hmm. Especially on Friday and Sunday.
Yes. Yeah. So that was fun.
So, do you want to do this sort of chronologically or by topic?
I figure we should start chronologically, and we'll probably branch off into other things as we do it. But cool. If we can try to stick to start to end, it will probably help my brain.
I guess we should also mention that almost all of our stories will include a friend of ours who visited from out of town.
Yes.
She used to live here. Now she doesn't. So it was sort of like having a tourist with us who knew the street names, pretty much.
Yes.
Because she's spending all her time saying, oh, that wasn't there, that's new, and oh, I missed this one place.
Yeah, it's been about...
wanted to eat at Illuminati's and Garrett's Popcorn.
Yeah. She moved away 5 years ago, but she's been back twice within that time. So a lot of things have changed.
Yeah.
And this was her first time going to C2E2 too.
Mm-hmm. She's done New York Comic Con twice now.
Yes, twice. Once just for a day, and then this past time she went the whole weekend.
Which is actually run by the same company, so it's more similar than most, I guess. But yeah, she was there, so we had a bit more variety in what we tried to do and what we actually did than if it were just the two of us, because we're so similar. People have a hard time telling us apart.
Yeah, we look exactly alike.
Yeah, it's a Freaky Friday situation, or more an Olsen Twins thing, I guess.
Yep.
So yeah, Friday, we get to the show, and we immediately split up.
Yep, immediately. You go there, we'll go here.
So she is, our friend is addicted to those pop vinyl figures.
Yeah.
So the first thing she wanted to do was find every stand with them and get a look at what they have for what price.
Yes. Yeah, she wanted to scope it out.
She was making a mental Excel book.
Yes, which she did very well at because she, like, remembered where everything was in that place the rest of the weekend.
Even the stuff she wasn't looking for when we were on, well, where was that one booth? She knew.
She knew exactly where I wanted to go every time. But we made a straight line back for Artist Alley.
Yes.
Because I wanted to hit up 2 artists that were back there before their stuff was gone or their line was huge.
First off was Amy Meberson, who you might know from the Pocket Princesses web comic. Yeah, she does that. She also does a lot of work for Disney. I know she does some of their on-site drawing things at, like, I think it's Downtown Disney. She also did, like, costume and scenic design for Frozen.
Yes, she worked on Frozen, and I think she's working on, like, a Darkwing Duck thing right now, actually.
That's great.
I haven't been able to check that out yet, but she does really awesome Disney sketches of all sorts, and she sells these really cute little tiny prints. Because she also sells, like, commissions and stuff, but those are kind of out of my price range. Yeah. So I went straight back for her binder that she has every show with little prints that usually sell out really fast.
And we got the first pick. We were there
I was her first person. And I picked a really cute Stitch and Rapunzel. I think they are watercolor and marker.
Yeah.
They're absolutely adorable. Super great. It's hard to pick because she had, like, hundreds to choose from.
Yeah, we could have come back the next day and other people would have made the choice a lot easier.
Yeah. I mean, there were, like, 30 I wanted, but I went with these.
Yeah. And then right across the aisle, we got lucky in how they organized Artist Alley because everyone we wanted to see, top priority, was right next door to each other.
It was great. So I got in line for Katie Cook, which Katie Cook is known for several things. She's become extremely popular because of her work on My Little Pony comics. I, however, am a big fan of her Gronk online comic that she also is publishing in books as well. It's about a really cute little monster that gets adopted by a girl.
Yeah.
But she does tons of other, like, prints that she sells, but she does a really cool thing where she sells little cards and does custom paintings on site.
While you chat. And you can get anything you want. And I've gotten something from her pretty much every year we've gone. If you've listened to those 2 previous years, you know about Katie Cook.
Yeah, you know.
It's a thing.
So this year I got one of Wally holding baby Groot.
Yeah. In the boot.
In the boot from Wally.
Groot in boot.
Groot in boot, which we talked about how, you know, people should really always put baby Groot in the boot if you're going to put it with Wally.
Yeah.
How do people not do that?
It's just common sense, people.
It's just common sense. And I also asked her for, I asked her for a picture of Stitch meeting her character Gronk, which ended up with her having Stitch eat Gronk.
And Gronk's little green monster butt is just hanging out of his mouth.
Yes, it's great. I love that is her interpretation of what that is of their meeting, and I love them. And they're gonna go on my Katie Cook wall of art.
And across the aisle from her, so back on the Amy Meberson side, is David Peterson, who, if you've heard me talk about comics at all, you know that I love Mouse Guard.
Yes.
And he's the creator of Mouse Guard, and I chatted with him for a while. And if you're a 6 Feet Under fan, I might have something to say about that later that might have something to do with the new edition of Mouse Guard RPG coming out. Maybe. I don't know. I'm being cryptic.
Yeah. You also got a really cute plushie from there.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I got a little sword mouse.
It's cute. It's sitting on our shelf right now, and I really like it.
Yeah.
It's a good purchase. I mean, we have all his books, so gotta get something else. Branch out a little.
For now, Legends of the Guard Volume 3, I think, is in issue, so it will be in hardback soon.
Yep.
But then it was time for my top priority of the day.
Yes.
My number one thing.
Yes.
Not just for the day, for the show.
For your life.
Let's not go that far, dearest, with whom I am pledged eternally.
Fine. I mean, it's okay. I won't hold it against you.
But stop beating around the bush. It's Sylvester McCoy. He was the 7th Doctor, more recently Radagast in the Hobbit movies, the Clown in Ian McKellen's King Lear, just for a few highlights. He was there. He was doing signings. He signed my copy of The Curse of Fenric, and I talked to him, and I took a picture with him, and I made him laugh. And that was the best. It was the best.
It was really cool, too, because when we got in line, they were running a little late starting, and what we eventually found out was that he didn't have his headshots yet there to sign.
Right.
So they were delayed coming out, and then eventually when he did come out, he still didn't have them. So he started walking amongst the crowd of us that were in line.
Walking up and down the line,
making googly faces at a baby that was dressed as a dinosaur. Shaking hands.
That was the best family outfit we saw all weekend,
It was great.
Because the parents were Dr. Grant and Sadler from Jurassic Park.
Yes, and their baby was a dinosaur. It was adorable. But it was really awesome because he was just walking through, apologizing.
He's just entertaining people and making his hat wiggle with his eyebrows.
Yes.
I think he bought the hat just for that.
Probably. But then shortly after that, because they still didn't have the headshots, they decided to create two lines. A line with people who had stuff with them that they wanted signed, and then a line for people who were going to wait for the headshots to show up soon. Which meant we got to jump to the front of the line.
Pretty much. So now I have The Curse of Fenric on DVD signed by Sylvester McCoy, and The Caves of Androzani signed by Peter Davison. And I just need an actual time machine to get Patrick Troughton's signature. May he rest in peace.
You were very sad one day thinking about that.
I was.
You really were going up the escalator. I'm like, why are you so sad?
Well, because I'm trying to figure out if I could go back in time to meet Patrick Troughton and explain to him what the hell a DVD is, because he died before that. Which DVD I'd have him sign. Probably Tomb of the Cybermen. I'm just going to go with the obvious choice.
Well, it's good you know. You never know. It could happen. The crazy things happening in our time, in our life.
Yeah.
Time machines could be one of them.
But that was a lot of fun, and it, I guess, foreshadowed the real highlight of the weekend.
Yes, but should we save that for later?
Let's save it for when it comes up.
We'll get to that shortly. Then we went and met back up with our friend. Who had already bought 8 pop figures.
Yes.
Well, no, not 8. I think she was at 6 at that point.
Yeah, let's not get crazy.
Because
she only brought a whole second suitcase just to bring them home.
Hey, I cannot blame her. She was very well prepared.
She was.
You know, they're cute. She brought me a pop figure here.
She did. As rent, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. So I now have all of 2. Mm-hmm. It's very nice, but...
And I guess if we're talking about running themes, what did she bring us as a gift?
I have the Elvis Stitch pop figure.
Oh, that's 3. That's 3 new Stitches.
Yes.
2 custom pieces of Stitch art and a collectible Stitch toy.
And we watched Stitch last night.
We did.
Lilo and Stitch last night. So there's a theme here, and I guess you could say I really like it. But... Yes. Everyone should, and if you don't, you're a horrible person.
It is.
I'm going to say that.
Okay. Okay, I want to rewind to a year ago now.
Okay.
When you said that I should watch my mouth when doing the panel and not say anything like, eat the rich. Now you're just going to call out everyone who doesn't like Lilo and Stitch as a horrible person?
Yes.
I've married a hypocrite. Cool.
Hey, I'm not saying anything about their lifestyles, just their choices in entertainment.
Sure.
You don't like Lilo and Stitch, you don't like Tangled. I really question if you enjoy life.
Cool. Okay. You're not being invited back. Sure.
I live here. You have to invite me back.
So then we just started, scoping out the floor together as a trio.
Yes.
Going up and down. And she was still checking out everywhere with pop figures. Mm-hmm. You were checking out everywhere with plushes and jewelry.
And other things that caught my eye.
And, whatever else. But as a rule.
Pretty much.
And I was checking out everywhere that had books.
I was very attracted to the book places as well.
Books and games, yeah. So
games, no. Books, yes.
So between those three things, it was slow going.
We stopped everywhere.
Pretty much.
The only places we avoided were the corset places.
Yeah, none of us were interested in wearables, in apparel.
No.
Hats.
My friend brought a shirt at one point, but that was it.
It was a very cute shirt.
We didn't really care about that stuff.
But eventually we made it to our first panel, our first bit of programming.
Yes.
It was called Unmasking the Hero, which is basically what they decided to call a thing where they collected 4 TV actors who have basically nothing in common.
Yeah.
It was David Ramsey, who plays Diggle on Arrow.
Yay!
This is an Arrow home.
Yes.
Deal with it.
Diggle's the best.
Jewel State, who is Kaylee from Firefly.
She's also great.
Eowyn Mackin, who played Galahad.
I don't know.
One of the G Knights on Merlin.
Something.
There's a lot. Gawain. There's a lot of G's.
We're not a Merlin home, you can tell.
And Raphael Sbarge, who's currently Jiminy Cricket on Once Upon a Time.
Yes, and who I did not recognize his name of, but I've seen him in a billion things. Looked this up while we were sitting there, and it blew my mind.
He's just that guy who's been in a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Including Mass Effect. He voiced Caden.
The entire time we've been alive, he's been in things. And we've seen a good portion of them.
So, other than them not really knowing each other and having no interpersonal chemistry, the 4 of them were all interesting to talk to.
Yeah, it was a good panel.
Eowyn and Raphael, however he says it.
I think it's Raphael.
Whichever. If he is a listener, please feel free to correct me.
I hope you're a listener.
You're a really cool guy.
You were on Sequest. I remembered this. Why am I pointing at the mic that is him?
Everyone does it.
Okay.
Also, if you're still listening after what we said about Sequest in the last episode, you're a saint.
Hey. I'm the biggest Sequest fan of all times. I have not listened to what he said because I'd probably divorce him if I knew.
Yeah, that's why we record when you're at work.
Yep. So I probably just would have been screaming and yelling and interjecting through all of it.
But anyway, the 2 of them were very professional and interesting in that sense. So they just had insights to share.
Yeah.
While not to say that David Ramsey and Jewel State didn't, but they were putting on a show. They were being entertaining.
Yeah.
So it was a cool mix of that.
They were finding the extra moments to make jokes and make the crowd laugh. And
yeah. And David Ramsey's great at that. If you're ever at a con or something like that, I'm not saying you should go to see him, but if you're going, you should see him. Yeah. He's a hilarious guy.
He was great.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it. And him and Jewel interacting with each other was really funny, too.
I think the best story he told, because when you're on a set with John Barrowman, you're going to get some stories.
Yep.
And apparently the same goes for Stephen Amell.
Yep.
It turns out John Barrowman says his farts do not smell. And Stephen Amell heard this and said, "Fart in my mouth and prove it."
Yes.
And then that happened, and he was right. So you heard it here, I don't know, 5th? He might have told that story a lot of times.
I figure that story goes around. But, yes, that is a thing that happened.
That's what you're getting into.
Yes, I feel like if you just had David Ramsey on a panel by himself, he would just tell stories like that nonstop.
I think we saw a video of him once on YouTube where he was doing impressions of every other cast member.
It was great.
It was
He's a really funny guy.
Yeah, he is.
And that was that's when the panel that someone asked Jewel a question about like what character she'd like to be or something, or like super. I don't remember exactly what the question was, but it led to her saying how she lives in Vancouver, which is where Arrow films, and how the hell am I not on the show? Why haven't they asked me?
Apparently it's also where Once Upon a Time and about a dozen other shows filmed.
Yes. But it kind of became a funny thing where they were like, I should talk to my agent. And Diggle's like, yeah, you should. And it was amusing.
I don't know. I think the good running joke was that everyone was asking David Ramsey questions instead of anyone else. Like, even the people dressed as Kaylee were like, oh, I love Firefly, and you're an inspiration to me. My question's for David.
Yep.
Every single time.
Yep. Though Jewel would be the second in line with questions. Those other poor two guys got, like, no questions. Unless someone was like, this is for all of you.
But yeah, they were good sports, and the moderator did a good job. She was... I don't think they ever let her out of the main stage.
No, they brought her, like, food.
She was... We went to 4 or 5 main stage things, and she was the moderator every single time. Yeah,
that girl didn't do anything else.
She tweeted a lot.
It wasn't her tweeting, though. No. It was totally someone else.
It's because her assistant on her account.
These tweets were going up during the panel. I'm like, I am looking at you on stage talking. You are not typing these tweets. And they were all, of course, like, supposed to be, like, from her mouth. So it was really funny to me. I was just like, no. No.
Just a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Oh, but we should also talk about, because that was the first thing in the main stage, the calisthenics, the daily warm-up.
Yes. Apparently they're very concerned about our health at C2E2, and thus we must do a nice little workout dance before each panel.
I don't know. I think maybe it's like a warm-up comic at like a TV taping.
Yes.
But instead of... I don't know, someone with...
Jokes?
I was going to say lesser stories of life on a TV set to warm you up. They just have a guy telling you to clap along to the Apache, jump on it.
Or maybe it's because they had less stuff to give away this year. So they're like, well, you have to go make everyone boogie a bit.
Yeah.
Fill this time. We don't have enough t-shirts.
But every morning, it was a different person doing the warm-ups. Same DJ.
Yeah.
Same moderator. Different warm-up guy.
That guy on the first day was the best, though. Because he was like, what was it?
We were raising the roof.
Raise the roof.
Then we were pushing it down.
Push it down.
Then we were doing
opposite directions.
One hand each. It's a little confusing. I think we were going to...
I really enjoyed the opposite direction part.
We were going to cause some airflow to, like, make an indoor tornado or something if we kept it up. I don't know.
There was also, like, the punch-in. We had a punch for a while.
There's a lot of punching. There was clapping in a circle.
Yeah.
It was like fourth grade gym class all over again.
I didn't mind, actually. It was pretty fun. People got way into it.
Yeah.
They also did some, like... dance-off competitions for t-shirts and stuff. That was the day that it was that day though they did the like raptor one.
Oh yes.
And I was so mad because I thought it was just gonna be a dance-off, so I didn't want to go up. But then it ended up being like your best Velociraptor impression, and I was like, no!
Acting like a dinosaur? That's my jam!
That's my thing! I would have gotten all the shirts. They would have been like, here, take 10.
You just wear all the shirts at once and it'd be that scene from Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So mad I missed out on that.
The rest of the day, we pretty much just did shopping and the floor, though, and we got real worn out, honestly.
Yeah, we shopped a lot.
Because I'm looking at the schedule that we actually did, and it's pretty empty. Like, there are things that we were going to do, and we just didn't get around to it. Because they were all maybes, and we were meeting up with people. Let's see, that day I met James D'Amato of the One Shot podcast and the Campaign podcast.
Yes.
My best frenemy.
I met him too.
Yeah, for the first time.
Yes.
Although you still don't know what he looks like.
No, he was all covered up.
In a Spider-Man mask.
Yeah, so if I ever bump into you on the subway, please remember, I don't know what you look like. And introduce yourself.
You know what his fiance looks like?
Kind of. She was also wearing like a wig and stuff, so, you know, that'll be a little hard.
A little hard.
I was also half distracted by the Gravity Falls plushies I found and was having a great debate over buying.
Yes.
Do I spend $40 on these things, or do I wait? They were very cute, but I did not buy them. That was the when we first found the sheep.
Oh goodness, these adorable sheep.
There's a weird thing going on with weird like anime sheep and llamas and alpaca plushies.
Are llamas a big thing in a big anime right now? Because there were these identical llama and sheep toys
and alpacas
everywhere that was selling anime memorabilia, merchandise, everywhere.
Yeah. The sheep was great though. The sheeps were all, I don't know, their faces were made funny, so it just looked like they were startled by everything.
Yeah.
So that became an ongoing joke all weekend.
A little bit.
They're very cute, though. My friend bought one, and it's the softest thing in the world. So.
Oh, something I forgot to mention about the Unmasking the Hero panel. Someone got engaged there.
Yeah.
It was the first main stage panel of the whole show.
Yes.
And near the end of the Q&A line, once they had cut it off and been like, sorry, only so much time, please take your seats. You know, the last few people left. This guy talks about, I love all your shows, and it's so good to hear all these stories. But my question is for my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he just proposes there on mic, and then he has to run back to his seat to like get down on one knee, and there's a staff member chasing him with a microphone to get her saying yes.
It was really sweet though, because after they made them come up on stage and get a group photo with all the people on the panel.
It was really nice.
Well, the girls just crying. Yeah. It was super sweet. Everyone was excited, but it was actually the second proposal of the day at C2E2. Someone else had already done it like in line getting into the show floor before it opened. Which is pretty funny.
Yeah, way to steal this other couple's thunder, dude. That guy had a plan to do it on mic in front of God, David Ramsey, and everybody. Come on, dude.
I'm sure there were a lot that happened, so...
that's also where we first met one of our fans. Gray Shot is his name on Twitter. And a second guy who's not on Twitter, I think he was a friend of Gray Shot. They seem like they might have been together, they might not have been, I wasn't clear. But both of you, if you're listening, are cool guys, thumbs up for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then, what? Yeah, I'm trying to remember what else happened. Because we were there all day. Like, more stuff happened than what I am remembering right now.
Dang it, we should have taken notes. The next thing on the programming that we actually did was I got some books signed by Mary Robinette Kowal.
Yes.
Who is a writer I've not read before, but...
was that the first day?
It was. Because it's the only day she was there.
Blow my mind. I really thought it was Saturday.
It was Friday.
Wow.
But the reason I know about her is because she's Twitter friends with Paul Cornell, who I follow and I'm a big fan of. And so her tweets are good. The blog posts I see are good. And so I think eventually I'm going to read her novels. Oh, wait, she's here selling them and signing them for free? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the series that she writes, or the series that she just concluded, because the last one had its launch party this weekend, actually.
That's right.
Yeah. We got invitations to that we couldn't use because we had other plans.
And it was also far away.
Yeah. But the series is Regency romance, think like Jane Austen, but with magic.
Ooh.
Yeah. And they're highly regarded and award-winning novels, so I'm going to dig into that, and I'm sure you're going to dig even harder into that.
Yeah, once you told me what they were, I was pretty excited.
Actually, I don't know, you probably don't remember everyone we pass, but we walked by her a couple hours earlier.
Oh, yeah?
She was looking very busy with a box and some luggage while we were walking the bridge over the big main hall.
Oh.
Because she had just gotten in from appearing on Sesame Street in New York.
What?
To get back into town for the convention and also her launch party.
Jealous. I want to be on Sesame Street.
She was very proud. She's like, oh, I just got in and asked me where I was. I was on Sesame Street.
I do the same thing. I cannot fault her for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be like shouting it and wearing a button that said I was just on Sesame Street.
Yeah. So if things go like they did last year, where after I'm done reading everything we bought, I put up a blog post saying what I thought, hey, you'll be hearing more informed opinions. But I know as a person, she's real cool.
Mm-hmm. But we went to another panel that night.
We did. We closed out the night with something from our friend's itinerary.
Yes.
The Supernatural Fan Forum. This is Supernatural, the television show, not the category of phenomenon.
Yes.
I don't want to say... I shouldn't say it was awful, but I want to say it was awful.
It was not... Well, first off, our friend, it was not what she thought it was going to be.
No.
And it was... they kind of missed, I feel like, an opportunity to really make it interesting.
Yeah. So
that's what it comes down to.
What it was some Supernatural superfans who do arrange their own fan convention in Minnesota, Wisconsin.
I think it was Minnesota.
Yeah, I think you're right. But they arrange it, and they were doing a panel for all the Supernatural fans here in Chicago at the show. And but what the programming they provided was them sharing some of the YouTube fan videos they've made. That was the first 10, 15 minutes.
Was honestly the best part.
It was the best part.
They were really fun, and they actually make me want to watch Supernatural.
They were good clips.
Yeah.
I want to know if that one funny one was all made from, like, blooper reels.
I think some of it was bloopers.
Or if they get just that goofy sometimes. I have no idea.
Some of it was definitely bloopers.
I know one of them's named Sam, one of them's named Dean, not which is which. They said a lot about somebody named Castile. I don't know who he is.
He's the guy that wears the trench coat. I know that. I think he's like an angel or something, or a
with
demon.
With a name like that, he's got to be.
He's something that's like stuck on Earth.
And the car represents their mom?
I don't know.
Okay.
We don't watch this.
We don't.
I kind of am interested in it now, but still don't have any clue.
I spend the whole time playing Bejeweled on my phone.
I mean, my friend who wanted to see it, she and I just played with her stuffed sheep and llama the whole time. We danced a lot with them.
Also, the YouTube music videos were pretty cool, the clip compilations, but the pacing, I don't know, I would have curated them a bit differently. It's one thing if you're going to have two videos set to shake it off, but when it's two in a row, just come on. Come on, what are you thinking?
Now that song is stuck in my head forever. It's never going away.
But after that was over, the next stage was a dreadfully boring PowerPoint about every time the show has visited Illinois.
Yeah, and like pointing out the license plates and what's in these places in Illinois. And if the like police office in that place is actually called that. Like, no, it doesn't have Metro in the name because it's not big enough, actually, and facts like that.
My favorite part was how after summing up every episode, she said, you know, and talking about the things the design department did to make their filming location, which I think is also Vancouver, probably.
Yeah.
To make it look like wherever it is in Illinois. And she always pointed out the Illinois license plates.
Yeah.
And then said, that just goes to show how much attention to detail there is. Actually, what that goes to show is that they keep their license plates like in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are better examples.
Also, there are a lot of things that we had to tell them how to pronounce that are very iconic Chicago things. Which, I get it, you're not from Chicago. But if you're going to do a panel talking about iconic things in Chicago in this TV show, I don't know, maybe ask a few people how to say Illuminatis.
Hey, I don't reliably know how to say Raphael Sbarge's name, but I watched him talk, so...
Still, you when you're like, I don't know how to say that, and everyone's like, Illuminatis.
Yeah.
There's one, like, up the street.
Your pizza is brought to you by the all-seeing eye. Just think of it like that.
There is something else, too. I don't remember what it was now, but it was like...
But stage 3 was members of the audience coming up and sharing their thoughts and questions about the show. But this is just fans talking to each other. Like, they're not necessarily authorities. They just watch and rewatch the show a lot.
They don't have any inside information.
It's basically a Twitter a Twitter conversation in person. And so after a little while, we bounced and got some food.
Yeah.
It
was, as I said, it was like it was a missed opportunity. It could have been a very interesting panel. It could be a great way to get people into the show. I mean, those videos they showed at the beginning got me interested. But then they didn't give me anything else. So...
And if you've got a problem with that, you know, the hater's gonna hate.
Yep.
So that's basically Friday in a nutshell.
Yeah. Should we talk about where we ate, in case people want to come to Chicago and eat food?
Yeah, speaking of...
Because it's like a tour with our friends.
Speaking of semi-touristy things, as someone who lived here and now is... in a weird penumbra of is from here and isn't.
We have to go to all their favorite spots to eat while they're here, which, you know, I don't mind. I like food.
But Friday night was Epic Burger.
Yeah, Epic Burgers. If you come to Chicago, it is a local chain burger place. Well, I guess, chain.
There's like 5 now. That counts.
There's a little bit more. I don't think there's quite 10, but there's more than 5. But it actually opened...
in the South Loop.
In the South Loop, within our first few years of actually being in Chicago. It was a one-location thing, and they've since expanded. They make really awesome burgers.
And
beef, turkey, you can get chicken, you can get portobello, all that. But their whole thing is that stuff's organic, natural.
Hormone-free, all that.
All that. It's really not expensive. It's pretty average price stuff.
It's kind of expensive until you see the size of the burger they give you.
Yes.
And taste also, how dang good it is.
Yeah. It's like
they're
$11 for burgers, fries, and a drink.
Yeah.
Which in Chicago, that's, you know,
if you want,
that's nothing. And you go to like Panera, you're going to spend the same.
That's $3 more than a comparably sized burger at McDonald's.
Yes.
And it's worth way more than that.
It's delicious. We've sent many other people to Epic Burger over the years, and they've all loved it. So, if you come to Chicago, find an Epic Burger,
There's one right by Union Station, so if you're taking the Metro or the Amtrak in, you're right there.
I know there's one up in the Gold Coast area, which is like the major shopping area.
If you're going to the Mag Mile, you're near one.
There's some spread out elsewhere too, but they're really, really good. You won't be disappointed. I was actually very full.
They should put one in the airport. That'd just fix everything.
I didn't really feel like eating, so all I got was like a smoothie. But that smoothie is like the best smoothie you will ever have.
Well, we did have our traditional chicken fingers basket on the show floor.
We had it was like it was lunch, but it was like super late, almost dinner.
Yeah.
And then we went to like Epic Burger at like 10 o'clock at night.
4:30 lunch, 10 o'clock dinner. Sure, why not?
Yeah. But it was really good, so go there.
But Saturday then. Saturday, we also opened the main stage, so we also got to boogie.
Yes.
And that was the Fierce Females of TV.
Yes.
Which is a slightly better themed thing because the entire panel had something in common, even if it's just their gender.
It works.
It's better than nothing.
It was actually a really good panel. I really, really enjoyed it.
It was once again Jewel State from Firefly, Neve McIntosh who plays Madame Vastra on Doctor Who.
Yep.
If you're blanking, she is the lizard woman in Victorian times who, in the fiction of the show, actually inspired Sherlock Holmes and is married to her maid in a secret lesbian thing because it's Victorian England and that's not allowed.
Yeah.
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 And Leah Pipes from the originals, who apparently is the only person who's not a vampire on the originals.
Yes, found that out.
And Maria Doyle Kennedy from Orphan Black, who plays Mrs. S, something like that. And
she has been in other things that I know.
She's the aunt from Jupiter Ascending, so she's A-okay in my book.
She was also in The Tudors, which is the only other thing I knew her from. But she is awesome.
She's awesome personally. And in Jupiter Ascending.
Yes. I was super excited when I didn't realize who she was by name until we were there and I saw her. And then I was like, oh, her. She's great.
She had the best stuff to say, too.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I really liked that I guess there was like a age difference among people on it. I was glad that it wasn't like, I'm blanking now, the girl from the originals.
Yeah.
She said that, I'm not sure of her exact age, but from stuff she said, it sounded like she is in her 20s.
Yeah. And she certainly plays 20s.
Yes. And then you have Jewel and Neve who are, I think, 30s.
30, maybe early 40s.
Yeah. And then, I'm blanking again on name.
Maria Doyle Kennedy.
Yes. She is 50. So it was really nice to have, like, actresses in different age ranges and talking from different points in their career.
And they all had very different experiences with
like Jewel was a child.
She was a child actor. If y'all remember Space Cases from Nickelodeon, Space Cases, that was my show and I was a very small child.
She was also on another show that I knew existed that I didn't watch, but it was with it was when Hayden Christensen got a start too. It was like it was like a school for that you send kids to that are instead of jail, and it's in the mountains and they have to go backpacking and stuff and learn about themselves.
So it's boarding school camp?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing and awful.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And of course Firefly, which I totally watched.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great panel. I really enjoyed that one. They just talked about so many different things on it.
Neve McIntosh almost sort of filled in the David Ramsey role from the day before. A little bit. Although with her own personal spin on it, she's great. And once again, we'll get back to her later.
Yes. Yeah. I just enjoyed them talking. And that panel had a lot of, when it got to the Q&A, it was very much questions that were addressed to all of them. They weren't singling people out as much. And it was like, how was your experience with this? How do you feel as a woman in TV? You are portrayed like this way, or different experiences from them. I want to hear from all of you. It was very interesting to see them go along and talk about their experiences.
Also, I think the framing of the panel, the theme of it, helped focus and direct things better than what if you go to Unmasking the Hero, that doesn't suggest any topics of discussion.
Yeah, that's true.
It just means these people are nice and they don't wear masks.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah. I enjoyed their
and really they were all sidekicks. They should have made it like a sidekick thing.
I enjoyed parts of the panel where they were talking about career choices and what they do.
Yeah.
And how part of it is, yes, we need to make more options available. We need to keep creating new things for people to do. More options. But they were also talking about, we also have the power to say no to something. If it's a bad thing that takes advantage of people or, sexualizes someone in the wrong way, you don't like it, if it's just not good, we have the power to say no. You don't have to do it. And if more people would say no to things like that, it would help get better things out there, which I enjoyed hearing.
I think that was probably the most interesting or maybe the most educational bit of programming we went to all weekend. That was a good one. It was a real good one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed them.
Mm-hmm.
They were just great. Really great.
Let's see. Let me check back to my Twitter, which is my my way to keep track of things without having to write them down. Oh, yeah, we did more shopping that day.
Yes.
Why don't we just go to the big pile of comics?
Big pile
of comics.
Which were bought, like, over a couple days.
So let's get it out of the way.
Well, do you want to talk about the 3 you bought, and then I'll talk about all the ones I bought?
Hey, I bought all of the books that don't have pictures in them. We're kind of even.
Hey, I got that one free. It doesn't have pictures. Well, actually, I think it has pictures, but it's not like a comic. It just has pictures.
So, yeah, I rarely buy comics monthly because I'm always just falling out of habits, and I never get enough to make a pull list worth it. So I had most of the Multiversity, which is Grant Morrison's most recent experiment in publishing. So I picked up the last 3 issues, the Marvel Family one, the Nazi World one, and the Haunted comic. So those can go with the rest. And awesome thing is, it was at Alley Cat Comics, which is a Chicagoland locally owned joint. Mm-hmm. And the cool thing they do is their current issues at shows, $1.
Yep.
Bam. Like, these all have $5 stickers on them, which I'm sure they were back home. But once they come to the show floor, they're $1.
Yep. Which that's the same place I was able to find a copy of Archie vs. Predator for $1.
That's my girl.
I actually saw it at a different booth, and then I was like, no, I should go see if they have it. And they did.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what Archie means to you?
I love Archie. Archie's really how I learned to read as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, as a little kindergartner, Archie was my thing. I have, like, back at my parents', I have probably hundreds of Archie digests. And the digests are the ones that are, like, the thicker books with, tons of story comics in there. I have hundreds of them. I love Archie. I really got out of Archie for a while just because I had so many. I never was really into buying like regular comic books, and a lot of the digests reuse stuff. I started like seeing the same stuff repeated some, so I kind of got out of it. And
also, for a long time, Archie was what you're probably thinking right now when you hear Archie.
But Archie's been doing amazing things over the past few years of just like trying different things, branching out, breaking boundaries, both like in being experimental and then like social boundaries. And I just love it. I absolutely love the stuff that they're doing.
They basically got new management that came to the realization that, hey, these are some of the longest running and most beloved characters in comics publishing. Let's do real stories. Let's make something count for once. Instead of just that thing you see next to People magazine at the grocery store.
So I haven't had a chance to like really read a lot of what they've been coming out with, but what I have had my hands on, I love. You got me that
the death of Archie.
The death of Archie. Big one. And I like cried myself through it. But it is, if you are interested and haven't experienced the new stuff of Archie, that is a great piece.
It is, even on its own. It concludes 2 series. They did an adult Archie series, well, sort of 2, where one, he winds up with Betty and they're married, and one, he winds up with Veronica. And some things are the same and some things are different as they go on, and they converge again. Archie dies the same way because it's the same issue for both series. And it's so well done.
It's great. I Absolutely love it.
And at the same time, they're just making cool and weird stuff that grabs people's attention.
Archie versus Predator, which is exactly what it sounds. And I am so excited to read this.
We got the, I don't know if this is the regular cover or the variant, but it's the one where Predator is holding Jughead's severed head.
Yes.
His severed jug, I guess.
It's a beauty. I am pumped for this.
Yeah.
So I got that. And then I tried to find a couple other things there at the dollar bins, but they didn't have what I was looking for.
When you're selling for $1, you get picked over.
Yeah. So I went back to another place where I saw it, and I got Fraggle Rock, Journey to the Everspring comic, which I'm super excited about. I love Fraggle Rock. And I also picked up Figment comic, which I'm super excited that they're doing. I love Figment.
I've mentioned a few times on this podcast, not to mention our regular videos, our honeymoon was Disney World.
Yes.
And you were, for weeks, you were telling me, okay, we're going to do Figment. We're going to do the Imagination ride.
So it's different than when it was as a kid. Like, they've changed it. It's nowhere near as good as what it was. But I still love Figment. Like, we saw the one place we went at Hollywood Studios, they have the Figment animatronic puppet from the original ride, which, like, just seeing that was the most exciting thing for me.
To go back to December's Chipod Ironicast topics. If you're visiting Disney Hollywood Studios, there is a museum of Disney stuff that doesn't sound as interesting as it is, but hey, you're already there. It's air conditioned. Might as well. And the stuff about the park specifically has things from old retired rides that are pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
The case that had that Figment is what also had a animatronic puppet from Kitchen Cabaret, which was one of my other favorite long lost rides.
Which again from December, you'll remember was replaced by the Tone Loc urban hip-hop version of the Kitchen
Which
Cabaret.
I also saw and liked, and now it's just gone.
You loved Soarin', all right? They had to put it somewhere.
But Kitchen Cabaret in all its glory of veggie, fruit, veggie.
I love you, darling.
Okay, anyways, I also found out that there is an Arrow 2.5 season comic.
Yeah. It's a nice change from all the shows that get canceled and then turn into comic books to have one that turns into comic books while it's still on the air.
So I was really excited about this, and I went to one stand and I bought the first 4. They were missing like 5. So I was like, well, I'll just get the first 4.
It's an ongoing run with 7 out so far.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
They gave me a good deal. And then, like, the next day, I found 5 somewhere, and I bought it. So then I went back, but they didn't have 6. So then I went back to the other place and bought 6 and 7, and now I have all of them, because I was like, well, they're all here. I might as well get them. I'm probably going to love them, because I am a huge Arrow fan.
You've got to love them, because issue 1 has Stephen Amell shirtless and smoldering.
Yep.
Issue 2 has him in costume and smoldering.
Yep.
Issue 3 has little Abercrombie boy. He's not that sexy. Issue 4, Stephen Amell, super sexy. Issue 5, group shot. Shirtless Diggle on us.
If I would have got a signature, he would have been signing that.
Hell yeah, Shirtless Diggle.
And then 7 is close-up smolder face.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not bad eye candy, but I'm excited to
I'm just hoping that when issue 8 comes out, it's the salmon ladder shot.
Yeah! Oh, salmon ladder. I admit it. That's the best thing ever. And I also, anyways, got a comic, a graphic novel. I bought one last year from this guy.
His name is Adam Fotos.
Yes.
Fotos, like a Spanish person saying photograph.
Yes, he is actually local. I believe he lives on the north side of Chicago, and he writes several different things, but what I got into was his book about it's Dragon and Goat are the series, and I bought one last year, and this year I added a new one called Pirate Island.
And it's pi as in the numerical constant.
Yes.
So it will be about rats and the circumference of circles, apparently.
Yes. With a really adorable goat and dragon.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to read this one. I really liked his last one. And the guy was, when I went up to his table, he was all ready to give me give me an introduction speech, basically, to Goat and Dragon. I was like, oh, I know.
Oh, I know.
I bought it last year.
I'm a Goat and Dragon pro.
He was so excited. He was so excited to have someone return. Mm-hmm. So I said, he's a local person, so I don't think he really gets around to going to other places probably that much. Mm-hmm. So it was fun to be like, yeah, I like it, and it's great, and I'm back, and I want other people to read it. Mm-hmm. And I got a free pin with that, too.
Speaking of old friends, on Saturday we ran into Lemon Drop, the 15-foot albino reticulated python.
Oh, Lemon Drop.
And also the Hamburglar that we kept running into last year. Which
freaking Hamburglar.
Last year it was especially funny because, as I mentioned, we had Voidburger with us. So, but yeah. This year he kept cropping up again.
Yep. He was all over the place. Though we had, like, kind of different, I guess, stalker characters this year that just went everywhere we went.
Yeah, there was one guy dressed as the Infinity Gauntlet. It must have been like 20, 30 pounds of foam padding covered in like gold fabric and big fake jewels. It was really cool.
That guy can hardly move, yet everywhere we go on the show floor, he is there. I don't know how he did it.
Part of it is that he had to stick to the wide aisles. And we chose to stick to the wide aisles.
Still.
But that doesn't account for all of it.
He should not be able to cross the entire show floor in the same amount of time I am when he has that giant costume that's the size of like 4 people.
And has got to be stopping for pictures all the time.
Yes. How did he get there?
We're 7 feet wide.
It was nuts. It's like everywhere I went.
Another old friend was Twitter user MGN001.
Yes.
He's ran into us or tracked us down 3 times. In
3 years.
3 consecutive years.
Yes. He is, dude, you get like the gold star.
That is tenacious, and it's always nice to say hi to you.
Yes. I mean, I can't even bump into actual people like I see, I work with, I know. I couldn't find anyone.
Yeah.
But you find us. You get all the points.
Mm-hmm. He is working on a comparison between the PC and PS2 versions of No One Lives Forever, the PS2 and PC shooter from years ago. That sounds pretty interesting the way he described it. And he also said there might be like Let's Play in the work using this research, maybe? So watch out for that. And as for new people, I tracked down a local blogger called Geek Girl Chicago.
That's right.
She was a lot of fun. I met her a while ago. By the time this comes out, the thing we worked on will already be out. The Alka Hollywood 200th anniversary special, where instead of talking about a movie, they sort of made one. We made a audio drama version of an unproduced and entirely awful Indiana Jones script, Indiana Jones and the Monkey King by Chris Columbus. That
just sounds great.
If you haven't listened to it yet, I'm sure I've plugged it a million times by the time this is reaching your ears. But if you haven't listened to it yet, go check it out. Or even just go look up the script. The characterization is awful. The structure is ridiculously bad. Like, there's at least one typo on every page, for crying out loud. And it's remarkably racist.
Yeah.
Like, we were joking around at the read-through, like, I don't know who's done more damage to indigenous peoples, Chris Columbus or Christopher Columbus. It's that racist.
Yeah.
But she's in that, I'm in that, so we like met and actually spoke, and she checked out your costume. Oh yeah,
checked out her costume.
Saturday, you were costumed.
I was costumed. Friday, I didn't wear a costume because I only have two right now, and also I like to have a day where I'm not in costume. But yeah, Saturday I was Wendy from Gravity Falls.
She's the teenager that dresses kind of like a lumberjack.
Yes. So I that was my costume.
You taught yourself to take in shirts just for the plaid shirt to make it
because I ordered. It's impossible to find green plaid right now. Absolutely impossible.
We went to every store on Michigan Avenue. We went to every store on State Street. You went to stores on Belmont.
I went all over the place. And so eventually like caved and I ordered one. The only thing I could find was in men's, like, tried your shirts on, and I'm like, yeah, this size will be good. This will fit me. It was about 4 times as big as it should have been. I was swimming. So I did some crazy shirt surgery and, like, cut off the sleeves, took in the sides, took in the arms, reattached the sleeves so they were actually on my shoulders.
And I mean, you've sewed plenty before, but taking in a shirt, taking it apart, taking it in and building it back together again. It was
terrifying.
Like some sort of Franken shirt. It's new.
Yeah. Like I've made clothes before, but it's a lot different when you're working with a pattern and, you know, I think stuff like that compared to like, well, let me see what I can do here.
I think you did a very good job on making it more your size.
Yes.
And making some, like a heavy-duty men's work shirt, basically. That is some serious flannel you were wearing, making it not look so bulky.
Yes, I was pretty happy with how it turned out. Could have turned out even better, but I was happy. I was glad I got to where I did. And there was a lot of, like, let's say, I don't think there were that many people that, like, there are a few people that pointed out who I was, but it wasn't until...
Our friend was telling you a lot of times she'd see people out the corner of her eye just like pointing at you and smiling.
Yeah, my friend...
But not like saying anything.
Yeah, she would always tell me when she saw someone that like was telling their friend about my costume or something, but no one ever came up to me until that night.
Yeah, later that afternoon, she'd gone home early because she wanted to do some shopping and some other, like...
Yeah,
I haven't been in Chicago for 2 years, things.
Yeah, she went to do other stuff, and we were hanging out. We were eating some snacks, like, in the hallway by the panel rooms, and this girl suddenly is like, oh my gosh, you're Wendy! Can I have a picture? That was pretty nice.
And that was super sweet.
That's the first time anyone's asked for a picture, and I was in costume last year. So that was pretty cool. And then after that, I don't know if I'm skipping ahead much.
We can get back to the big news of the day,
but
go right ahead.
But we were just down the hall from where they're doing like the cosplay meetups, and we're like, well, it's in like 5 minutes for the Disney one. It was the Disney cosplay meetup, and I was like, well, I might as well wander in. I don't really even know what a cosplay meetup entails.
Learn by doing.
So we went in and like they had already started taking pictures, which is apparently all that a cosplay meetup actually consists of, is taking pictures. Where these pictures are, I have no idea.
Yeah, if you know where they are,
if you know where C2E2 puts their cosplay meetup pictures, tell me. I cannot figure it out. I have no idea.
We asked the nice volunteer lady behind the desk. She didn't know. She'd been getting that question all weekend.
Yeah.
But she did not know.
She said that if we found out to let her know. But anyway, so...
She's the natural person to ask.
It was Disney, so there's like tons of princesses and all this stuff. And I'm just standing there like, well...
There was one person on Ayala Sakura for all my Star Wars fans out there.
Oh, that's what she was.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out, I'm like, I know that's something, but I don't know what it is.
The blue Twi'lek Jedi from episode 2. Yes.
Okay. I was trying to figure, I was like, is she from Treasure Planet or something? I don't really remember that movie, but...
No, they also don't have lightsabers in Treasure Planet.
I didn't see the lightsaber. Okay. I just saw that she was blue, and I was trying to figure out what would be a blue princess.
Big head tails.
Well, and she was going up with, like, the princesses. So I was like, what princess is that? I don't know what that is.
I haven't checked Wikipedia lately. She might be a princess on her home planet.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, anyways, that's when... there was this girl, was like 11, dressed as Mabel came up and asked me for a picture. She's like, "Hey, Wendy."
Accurate Mabel, which is always cute. It
was very sweet. She's like, "Wendy, can I have a picture?" And so we took a picture together. And then I was like, "Well, I want a picture too." So I got a picture with her. But then I realized, like, we weren't going to be called up for the picture because no one had any idea what category we were, and it was just the two of us.
Right.
So I took control, and I, like, told them we were there. And I'm like...
She was looking kind of awkward, looking at her dad, like, I don't know if we're supposed to be here.
Yeah.
I don't know if we belong.
And I was like, you want to get a picture? I'll get a picture with you. And so I told them, I'm like, Gravity Falls, you need to call us out. And when they called us out, we went up. I was like, how do you want to pose? We did like she said dance party. So we did dance party pose. They took a few pictures and she seemed really happy at the end. So, I mean, I was glad I had someone to do it with. I would not have been that, like, demanding on them.
You were both in the same boat that way. Yeah. Neither of you would have done it without the other. Yeah. It was a very sweet moment.
But yeah, I was really glad that I was able to, I guess, help her have that experience.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's something that if she's just there with her dad, she feels awkward, she might not do it again. So we got a picture, and it was fun. Of
course, rewinding, the biggst news of the day.
Yeah. Gosh.
Something I alluded to earlier when I said the middle bit wasn't great.
Nope.
Our friend had three big priorities that she then narrowed down to two.
Yeah.
The first of which was to see the Kick-Ass Women of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel.
Yes.
Where they were just going to hang out and talk with Haley Atwell of Agent Carter fame, among other things, and Ming-Na Wen, who's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and was also Mulan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was excited because I wanted to see Mulan.
I want to see Mulan, yeah.
Love Mulan. But yeah, like, and our friend, like, had was very like, I'll do whatever you guys want. These are the only things I would like to do. And we're like, yeah, we'll go do it. And we went up, we
got up there at least 45 minutes before it started. Maybe an hour.
We were basically all the way down the hallway to the stairs.
We were
in line.
The line we were about 150 yards back from the main stage, our line. Yeah. And the line was 3 people wide. They were like putting people into like regiment formation to sort of squeeze the line together.
And then outside the main stage, there were like 6 lines going until it jets down the hallway.
They've got like 40, 50 feet to line people up in sort of a
square.
A square, right? So they've got 1 50-foot line, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. They have 6 of those, and then line 7 is the first one that sticks out all the way into the hallway. Yeah. We were about 150 yards back in line 7.
Yeah. It was nuts. And we never moved.
Yeah, not only did we not get in, we did not move.
We never took a step forward. So, and we were there basically an hour before we found out that, nope, this isn't happening.
Nope. With a kid dressed as Hawkeye just
stabbing us,
smacking us with the bow because he wasn't paying attention because he's 10.
Yep.
So, like, I don't blame him, but I'm gonna get irritated by him.
Yep. So that really sucked.
And she was trying to hide how heartbroken she was.
Yeah, she's a big Marvel fan.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's really why she's there.
That's why she was there. That and the other thing, which is a happy story.
Yes.
Spoilers, there's a happy ending to her weekend.
A little later. So that really sucked because that was like the one thing.
Yeah, the one thing.
And like yesterday when we went to the main stage stuff, we didn't have any problems. And we've never had a problem getting into things before.
Yeah.
And the entire time we've gone to C2E2, the only time that we know of that they've ever had to shut down a room was for the cosplay competition last year.
So
and we didn't even try to go to that.
One single time in their 5-year history, as far as we know. And it was happening all the time this weekend. Yeah. All the time.
Every place you went, especially on Saturday, the lines were outrageous for these rooms. It was nuts. I mean, it was just nuts on the floor on Saturday in a way I've never seen it. But the lines were absolutely insane. And they had all the panel rooms in the same area.
Yeah.
So no matter what, you have these giant lines down the hallway, and then you have people trying to walk through the hall to get down the hall to the other panel rooms, and there's only one escalator basically up there from the floor. So
which was constantly stopping?
Yeah, it kept breaking down.
Kind of, I mean, ta-da, it's stairs, but it still kind of sucks.
Well, yeah, because then you have everyone like, whoa, and then it takes a while for the people to start actually walking and getting going. And when that's your only way in and out, aside from an elevator in the corner, and it causes a lot of traffic problems.
I think when the floor is super crowded, it's kind of energizing in like a community way. We are in this together, and we are getting to the things, and look at how exciting this is, and all these are my people.
Yeah.
But when just lines for things are crowded, it's the most disheartening, frustrating, fuck this, I want to go home feeling.
Yeah. Which I think it was that day too. I mean, it might be like too much information, but that was the day like all the bathrooms ran out of toilet paper. Like I was saving people. Yeah. And like handing toilet paper to people in all the stalls that they went into. I'm like, there's no reason why this is happening. It might be paying attention more.
It might be too much information for some people, but I love ladies' room stories because there is also that real sense of camaraderie and community. We're all in this together.
3 ladies that just in one bathroom trip that day. Like, here, you want some toilet paper? You need some too? Here you go.
Just the paper fairy going around.
I got you guys. So, but still, like if you're having an event that's that big, that's just another example of how, I guess, unprepared they were for the crowds that day.
Yeah.
I mean, that should not be happening.
It's a weird thing with the space, because the easy way to fix it is to open more panel rooms.
Yes, on separate floors.
But yeah, I don't know are there rooms that way on the 5th floor? Because there aren't on the 3rd. The 3rd is just the 2 giant airplane hangar-sized floors.
I'm pretty sure the floor above us is panel rooms.
Okay,
that is down that panel hallway because it's kind of has like a balcony that looks off. I'm pretty sure that's all panels. It has to be.
Fingers crossed they open up 5th floor meeting rooms for more programming next year.
They need to. And it's also really, I mean, then you have that other hallway where they have the cosplay lounge, the family headquarters, etc., etc. Those are all panel rooms you could be using for panels, but instead you're using them for lounges when you have plenty of space on the first floor, I say, but it's really like the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
But space you're not using that could totally be used for those things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's where they had the registration and everything before that they've now moved to another location, and now it's just empty there. Use that. You don't. It'd be much more direct because no one has to go upstairs.
Yeah.
And then you could use those panel rooms.
Also, if you listened to last year's, you know our story visiting the fan lounge, whatever it was called last year, and we taught ourselves to play Ticket to Ride, and that was fun. This year, they didn't really have that.
They didn't have any games to rent out.
There were no games. I mean, there were game stores selling board games. No one was going to stop you from bringing yours from home, but that's not really the same, is it?
Yeah, the game rental thing was such a great way to try out new stuff and also to meet people. It's where we met some of our fans who were trying to track us down last year. Yeah.
This year, the last guy I mentioned, MGN001, he met us in the Agent Carter panel line because we were just there for so long.
Yeah. He just hung out with us while we waited. But yeah, so that lounge, they had some really awesome beanbag things. Those were amazing.
Those were amazing.
But that was really it.
I mean, they had some programming there that we didn't go to, but it was there.
It was mostly where the cosplay meetups were.
Yeah. Trivia challenges that we didn't take part in.
But still, I also feel like because it was up there in that corner away from everything, it also stopped people from going because it was hidden.
Yeah, it also sort of makes it a better lounge though because it's away from the noise.
I guess.
But you know, if they laid it out like last year in the place right by the front doors, it has that advantage while also being visible.
Yeah. That or, as I said, there's all that space right across from it, where they used to hold the game, have the games that 2 years ago.
Just rent out certain square footage from the second giant airplane hangar room.
You put up the giant curtains they have everywhere. Yeah. You can divide it off however you want. It'd actually be really nice. But yeah, so there are issues with that.
If any of you listening work at Reed Pop Productions and
we got things to tell you.
And I'll just send me a consultant fee through PayPal, and we'll be all good.
I like to try to fix things for people, so I'd be happy to talk with you.
Let's see, what else haven't we mentioned? There's Do the Robot with MSI that we checked out. That was okay.
The robot was cute. It was in the family lounge. So
it was very
I knew it wasn't going to be
child-oriented. But yeah. It was a cute robot. I'm interested in seeing the robotics exhibit at MSI once they put it up.
I did think it was going to be a bigger robot. It was a very cute little robot, but I expected more robot.
It was a very capable 8-inch high robot.
Yeah, I expected like a 3-foot robot. I'm going to be honest there, at least 3 feet of robot. But it was really cute. I want to go see the exhibit, but there wasn't a lot to it.
That's also where we saw Clint from Alka Hollywood, speaking of that a few minutes ago, I did.
Well, just outside there. We sat down for some snacks, and he was right across from where we sat down.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
I was planning to see him, going back to our schedule, at the Your Opinion Sucks Rotten Tomatoes Critics versus Fans.
Yes.
That also had a crazy line.
It was nuts.
It was nuts. We were in line number 2 or 3. We were at the end of line 1, though they did have 3 lines.
We were supposed to be the end, but then like more people got behind us.
Yeah, whatever. Except they were kind of drunken, wobbly jerks.
They just kept touching me. Stop touching me.
But the way this panel works is they had 5 local Chicago film critics. They had 3 from The Dissolve, including Nathan Rabin, formerly of the AV Club, who's great. They had the Red Eye guy, who sometimes is okay and often sucks, in my opinion. A WGN radio guy and a RogerEbert.com guy.
Yeah.
And 2 people actually from Rotten Tomatoes, like editors.
Yeah.
And it was entirely fan curated content, I guess. You come up, say a movie that you love or hate, why you love or hate it for a minute. The panelists get to tell you why you're right or why you're wrong, and everyone has little panels with the fresh or rotten logos on it. So the whole crowd gets to say what they think about the movie without actually talking over anyone.
There was a lot of talking.
There was a lot. Well, when someone gets up and tries to throw shade at Furious 7, people are going to say some words.
Say, oh, hell no. Shut up.
You shut up, boy.
Don't you talk about that.
It's a family.
Also, like, he made the dumbest points ever.
Yeah.
It was too much of an action movie. This action movie I went to see that, has 6 action movies before it, so I should know exactly what I'm getting into.
I personally love how many times Dom intentionally wrecked his car, then got up from it just groaning a bit. I love that.
Yes, it's kind of the point. We are a Fast and the Furious household here.
Dom Toretto is the real Man of Steel, dang it. Oh, also I bought Man of Steel on Blu-ray for really cheap.
Yes. And The Amazing Spider-Man.
And The Amazing Spider-Man for even cheaper.
Yes. But yeah, that panel was...
They were less than $10 together. Why not? Go for it.
That thing was okay.
It was fun. I put it on my schedule initially because I knew Clint was planning to be there. And even if we didn't find each other, we'd meet him.
We never saw him.
Didn't meet him then, met him earlier.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I thought that panel was a little weird, like some of the things people would like bring up to like, I guess, argue.
Well, because it's nerds arguing movies. It's generally pretty bad.
Yeah, but like just some of the things like, I'm picking this show to argue. A show that is like insanely loved and you're saying that you love it too.
I'm gonna say something a little unpopular right now. Archer is really funny, and so is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
And everyone's like, yeah, it is.
I mean,
no one said no.
4 out of 5 of us are like all with you. This is not controversial.
And that happened a bit, like it was only at the end that they started getting to like obscure things that like I've never heard of.
Well, I think they started strong. The first person up saying, we all know the room is terrible, but I think it's terrible in an unentertaining, unwatchable way, not in a fun time with your friends way.
Yeah, it was like good at the beginning.
Strong start, and then a lot of like, really? What? That's what you're going to talk about?
And then like the last like 4 were like ones I've never heard of. So I was like, yeah, you argue that thing, because I'm curious to know what people think, because I don't know what this is.
So yeah, after the panel, I went up and I said hi to Nathan Rabin, told him I enjoyed his show. Enjoyed his writing. Mm-hmm. And he's done 4 Alka Hollywoods now. So I was, hey, we've got a mutual friend. Mm-hmm. And then while we were chatting, a guy brought up his paddles like, hey, you want to sign this? And he's like, oh yeah, sure. So I'm like, okay, I'm kind of just cut off and okay, bye. And that was our day for Saturday.
Yes. And where did we eat that night?
Saturday.
Yes. We went to 11th City.
We did. I love 11th City.
It's a great place.
Wait, didn't we go to... Yeah, it was Saturday. We went to 11th City.
It was 11th City on Saturday, which is a great diner.
It's a New York Jewish style diner. But with a Chicago coat of paint. Like, they literally paint the Chicago flag on a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's so good. Oh, my God.
We used to go to this place all the time. And it's one of those places where, like, you know, you move farther away.
We used to live, like, 4 or 5 blocks closer to it than we do now. So
you just kind of go to closer places.
Yeah.
But it's great. It is so delicious. Good. Great menu. It was actually a place my friend had kind of forgotten about. And I was like, you used to love that place. You know, do you want to go there? And she's like, yeah, let's go there. They do great breakfast. They serve breakfast all day, but they also do great sandwiches. They do crazy like milkshakes, and they have like crazy cakes and stuff.
Their frozen vodka lemonade. Oh, I wish it was warmer.
We were watching.
I would have got 2.
We were watching the guy make like the sundaes and shakes, and we were just all staring at it, and we're like, you can just like leave those here.
We will make it worth your while, dude.
So good. But yeah, that's a great place to check out. It's South Loop area of Chicago.
It's 11th and Wabash.
Yep.
It's Wabash between 11th and Roosevelt. Can't miss it. They also sell Faygo in glass bottles.
Yes, they do.
I love it. Oh, I love it.
I believe they also have Vernors. You can get.
They do.
You can get Vernors too.
You can also get a Boston Cooler.
Yes.
Which is something that sometimes I think my dad is the only guy in the world who knows what that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is instead of a float in Vernors ginger ale, it's actually blended.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
So it's pretty cool. It's nice to have those there.
That was our Saturday.
Yeah.
So soon we'll get to Sunday.
Yes.
But before we talk about Sunday, we missed another very important food note, didn't we?
Yes, we did. I should really do like food podcasting or something.
Yeah.
I want to talk about food. But
we actually had an idea for a history podcast after we watched the Mabim Bam Sawbones live show too.
Yeah. We might have to do some of these. But, so a while ago, I told my friend about this donut shop.
Yeah.
Donut. I don't know what I just said. Donut shop.
A place that makes donuts.
Yes. I didn't think I pronounced that right the first time. But anyways, the shop that makes these really crazy donuts that we had finally tried. And her reaction was, holy shit, I want to eat there. And
they're called
glazed and infused.
Yeah.
This is what the donut shop is called.
It's a joke.
Yes. And so I picked some donuts up ahead of time because I knew we wouldn't have time. And we ate those on Friday and Saturday. And she loved them so much that after we like split up on Saturday, she went and bought more for us to eat on Sunday. Because they're that good.
So those and the vinyl figure were her rent for the weekend.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But they make crazy stuff. Like they have, well, red velvet's not really crazy, but they have red velvet. They did a triple chocolate. But then they have like key lime pie donut, strawberry and Oreo,
Yeah, that one was good.
We didn't get it, but they're known for this bacon maple Long John donut
that has a strip of bacon laying on top of the Long John.
What else did we get?
You got some sort of peanut butter one.
Oh, yes, it was this. It was a chocolate covered one that was like filled with a peanut butter cream. It was delicious. Mm-hmm. There was also raspberry chocolate with a cream.
That was good.
A sprinkle one, and. Yeah, so they're delicious. They change their flavors kind of like every month. They rotate half of them out.
Yeah.
So and they have several locations throughout Chicago now. Most of them in the Loop or Gold Coast, also Wicker Park.
I think they started in Wicker Park.
They started in Wicker Park. So if you're in Chicago, check out Glazed and Infused. They are delicious.
So good. So that was our breakfast all 3 days.
Yeah.
Was getting
breakfast of champions.
Getting some fancy donuts and then cutting them into thirds so we could all have a little bit of each one.
Yeah. It was good.
But now that does actually, in honesty and truth, bring us to Sunday.
Yeah.
Now, after Saturday turned out not great. We were frustrated with the lines, frustrated with not getting to see things we really wanted to see.
Yeah, which, I mean, from the way we talked, we didn't really express just how nuts it was.
Yeah.
It was insanely crowded. The lines were everywhere you went. It was...
By the end of Saturday, I was thinking, like, I still kind of like this show, but next year we'll wait to buy tickets until they have the schedule, and we'll pick a day, maybe two. You know, I was getting fed up enough with it that, you know, tradition doesn't count for everything if it's not going to be fun anymore.
Which I wasn't quite to that point, but I had been thinking, well, maybe it's time we don't stick around all day for everything.
Yeah.
Maybe we just, you know, spend a little less time there every day.
Mm-hmm.
But...
So that was our mindset coming in Sunday.
Yeah.
That Sunday was a great success.
Sunday was so much better. It's really weird how every day was completely different.
From the
other. It's never really been quite that different in things. Mm-hmm. Sunday is Kids Day at C2E2, which that was something I was looking forward to even after the grumpiness of Saturday. It was like, well, there will at least be 1 billion kids and they will be dressed up and it's always really fun and cute.
So they have some extra kids-focused programming on Sunday, and also kids have $5 admission with an adult.
Yeah, so they're everywhere. It's always... I mean, it can be crazy because then that means you're looking out for 1 billion other kids you might step on. But at least
they're usually cute.
At least that little Star-Lord girl is adorable.
Yeah.
I did see a really cute picture of a Star-Lord girl.
Yeah,
nice. I never actually saw her. Real life,
because she's like 2 feet tall.
Yeah, she was so cute.
Easy to miss.
Yeah.
But, well, we started the day, once again, starting off the day in the main stage.
Yeah.
Because of missing out on the Women of S.H.I.E.L.D. panel.
Yeah.
We overcompensated by camping out seats in the CM Punk spotlight.
Yes.
Rather than having to miss what came later. And that turned out cool.
Yeah, it was actually, I enjoyed it. He was very entertaining and very fun to listen to.
CM Punk is a retired WWE wrestler and current comic book writer and future UFC fighter. He's signed up. He's currently in training. He's not booked on any cards yet.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be.
Yeah, I really enjoyed listening to him.
Yeah.
He's a very interesting guy with, you know, his hands in lots of things. And the Q&A was actually really fun. Too. It was. There are a lot of kids that were
I think
like, CM Punk, you're my favorite. I'm so happy I'm here to see you, and you're just like, ah.
I think it's a combination of being Kids Day and also being a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, kids are super into that.
Yeah.
You know?
I also enjoyed all the adults that were like...
It's like Barney with punching.
Yeah.
You know?
But all the adults that asked questions that were like, hi, Mr. Punk.
Yeah.
It's just like...
Mr. Punk is a great phrase.
Yes. That was pretty great. There was that guy that like...
With the shirt?
With the shirt guy.
He came up and he was just... I don't think he ever had a question.
No.
But he's talking about how, Punk, you're an inspiration to me, and like, my life is so much better since I found you. And like, and he's going on about how he's eventually gets to the point that he is an airbrush artist and he made a shirt for him. And I want you to have the shirt off my back. I brought it here for you. Take the shirt off my back. He used that phrase 100 times, I swear.
Yeah.
But he keeps going on and Punk's like, look, let's go out. You can buy a shirt to change into, and then I'll take your shirt. I don't want your shirt right now.
Yeah, I don't want you to be walking around shirtless.
I think they got rules here about that. But he keeps going on, and eventually he just takes off the shirt and reveals that he was wearing a second shirt underneath it. So then, you know, everything's hunky-dory. But then he makes a crack like, hey, you said the shirt off your back. This is a different shirt.
Yeah. So eventually he went down and got the shirt from this guy. And that guy, like, was hugging him to death.
Yeah, I think he might have been crying.
Yeah.
It was a really cool moment.
Yeah. So, I mean, it definitely made that guy's day. I felt slightly bad for CM Punk because I'm like, that has to be a little awkward just how much this guy is hanging on you. But it also has to be cool that you mean that much to someone and that you've made someone's day that much. Mm-hmm. This guy was flipping out.
Yeah.
So, good for him.
Good for him. But the big highlight of the week that we have been alluding to,
yes,
that's what came next. Oh, I guess we should mention CM Punk was the first thing in the main stage. Mm-hmm. Therefore, we did get another day of warm-up boogie.
Yeah. Wasn't quite as much fun.
Well, because we got there in the middle of it. We only got the last minute or two.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's when they had the really cute kids up on stage.
Oh, yes.
There was a kid dressed as Captain America, and he did a hero pose.
And then
there was a kid with a mohawk.
He had a Doctor Who shirt on.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
And he did like Spider-Man?
No, he threw up the horns and made like an angry face.
That's what it was.
A big gel mohawk. He was like 5, and it was awesome.
The announcer guy was like talking to the one kid about like how he's missing teeth and asked the kid how much he got for his teeth. And he's like, I got $1 for each one. And he's like, just $1? Well, let me tell you.
For both your front teeth? Your front teeth?
Well, let me tell you. I'm personal friends with the Tooth Fairy. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call him up. And tomorrow morning when you wake up, there'll be $10 under your pillow. Okay?
Also, I don't think your mom's my friend.
It was pretty funny. The kid did not get it. He was so confused, but everyone else was laughing.
He's just thinking $10. Yeah,
like
that's
$10.
All right,
cool. Nice.
I'm 4 years old. I have no idea what $10 could get me. Sounds good.
It was cute.
But yeah, so yeah, we were there camping out seats for The Doctor Will See You Now, which was a panel featuring, again, Peter Davis. I'm going back in time! Sylvester McCoy and Neve McIntosh.
Yes. It was the best thing ever.
It was the best. Now, what you might not know, and what we've not really mentioned about Sylvester McCoy, is that he basically is a clown. Like his career in entertainment and I guess the arts started with just doing comedy acts in bars, and that's never really left him.
Yeah.
So as soon as they introduced him and had a few introductory questions and opened it up to the audience, he said, nah, give me that mic. Let's go.
Well, there was something like, well, let's take some questions from the audience. And he's like, yeah, let's do that. And then he leaves the stage.
Yeah, he left the stage.
And he just starts handing the mic out to people in the audience. You got a question? You got a question?
He stole the mic from the staff who was there in the nice organized line of questions.
That had already lined up.
So no, he just takes that. He gets Neve to take the mic from the other side.
Like, Neve, come join me down here. Come join me.
He starts, do you have a question? Gives him the mic. Here's the question. And like, oh, I've got a story about that. Come with me. And just starts walking, not just up and down the aisles, but through the rows. He's
climbing over people. With some poor person trailing behind him.
eventually, the line wised up and wanted to just, hey, he's taking questions. I got to follow him if I need to ask him a question. So he's leading a parade through the road.
At one point, he even said, he's like, I'm like the Pied Piper. He's got his group of people just following him along.
And he's throwing it over to Neve McIntosh like a news reporter.
Back to you, Neve.
And
Neve here. Yeah. You got a question?
And she's keeping up with him step for step. And it's hilarious. It's the best thing. It was the best thing.
Yes. It was amazing. And, like, he was behind me. He was in front of me. He was all over the place.
And the whole time they're trying to corral him, like the poor moderator. And also I mentioned before, everything in the main stage, at least everything we know of, had the same moderator. Yeah. And she's doing her darndest, like listening to staff and trying to get him back on stage. Sylvester, we're live streaming. The cameras can't see you. There's a lot of people at home who couldn't be here today who want to see you. Like, oh, well, I'll just look this way while I'm walking up and down the aisle.
I'll make sure I face the camera. Yeah. And then at one point, he even said, he's like, why streaming? Can't they bring the cameras to me? Just walk with your camera. That's what they used to do.
It's like he comes up on stage he did it for a little while. They made him do it.
They made him come back on stage, and so
then he decides to bring the whole line up on stage and sit them on the couch next to him.
Yeah, and like bring one person up at a time to ask their question, sit next to him, talk, and then they're like, okay, leave that way, next person.
So as soon as the moderator tried to get a little more control, he's like, no, this is out. We're going back in the pit, back in the aisle.
She tried to stop it by like putting herself between them and the person asking the question, be like, what's your question?
So they went right back down the stairs.
And he's like, no, here I go. Looping around. And that's kind of when they like stop trying to control him.
Yeah.
And this thing is like, if I don't want to like, I mean, she was doing the best she could. Like, it was a crazy situation. But like, if she wouldn't have tried to step in between, they would have been able to keep him on the stage.
I think she was probably cool with it, and I'm sure she saw the entertainment in it.
But other people were telling her.
The staff talking through her was the problem.
Like, they kept talking to her and kept trying to get her to do stuff.
And I did get up in the line, because like, how many times do I get to talk to Sylvester McCoy twice in a weekend? Yeah. I'm going to try it, you know? He didn't get to me, and I don't mind, because he was prioritizing like kids.
Walked past you 5 billion times, though.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience, whether I get on mic or not. Who cares?
Yeah, but it was incredible.
But it gave me a much better view of all the staff running back and forth and trying to like plan. Okay, how can we make this work without him making it blow up in our face?
Yeah. Well, and what I love too is like the whole time this is happening, if like Neve was answering a question with someone, like you would see him stopping and taking a picture with someone or shaking people's hands. Same thing when he was answering a question, she'd like agree to take a selfie with someone or shake hands or hug people or talk to people. And they were just, you know, all over interacting with everyone. Yeah. And at first you could tell, like when it first started, she was like really confused by it and like not sure if she should go, kind of like, but then she was just like, I'm doing it.
They've got that Scottish like thing going on between them. They were trading stories back and forth because they never really worked together, but they've worked with some people in common and telling stories that are 2 or 3 steps away from dirty jokes, just almost pushing the envelope for noon on Kids Day. Yeah.
It was just incredible. And our friend...
the best thing.
Our friend has never seen an episode of Doctor Who. She knows nothing about it. And she was like, that was hands down the best, most entertaining panel I've ever seen. Just because it was so much fun. Mm-hmm. And just the way that they were interacting and everything that happened, like, it was just a blast. Mm-hmm. And, it was great. Yeah, it was so great.
She got... I think of all of us, she got the best picture of him that I saw. I haven't seen all of yours.
I have a billion on my like big camera that I haven't looked at yet.
But one of the times he went up and down the rows, it was right in front of you guys.
It was right in front of us and right behind us. Right, and I think the one she got is like right behind us.
She got a picture that's, you know, 18 inches from this guy who's practically only 3 feet tall, like right up his nose.
Yeah.
And he was never not moving, but it's still perfectly in focus,
Yeah.
so good for her.
Yeah, that was the hardest thing about getting pictures is he never stopped.
Yeah.
The man was always moving.
Like, you can go to my Twitter feed and see some of the pictures I took. I swear I'm a better photographer than that. He was just always in motion.
Yeah.
I couldn't help it.
Oh, the spoon thing.
Yeah.
The spoon thing.
It was one of the last things he did. Someone talked about playing the spoons. He does play the spoons.
Uh-huh.
He played the spoons as the Doctor a lot.
Yeah.
And in a few other things that he mentioned. And he's like, and someone asked him if he had spoons with him. Like, no, of course. Why on earth would I bring spoons with me? And he brings them out.
And then he makes this kid follow him to hold the mic and has like someone else holding his cane.
walking stick.
Well, like
while he plays the spoons on Neve McIntosh's shoulders and back.
And then this poor kid holding the mic.
And bum a little bit.
It was... Oh, and then there was that guy that made a joke about his height, like asked him how tall he is, and like he climbed on a chair.
He climbed on a chair, and they were suddenly the same height.
But then like, this old man is climbing up on a chair, and then is having to like climb down. He's just like, I'm gonna do this.
It just goes to show how comfortable walking shoes Crocs must be.
Yes.
He spent the whole weekend in Crocs.
And he had all the energy of the world on Sunday. Apparently, I need to get some Crocs to keep up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was, I mean, I could just go on about it. I don't even remember half the things that were said, but it was great.
I mean, it was live streamed. There might be an archive somewhere. I honestly don't know. I hope so. It's an amazing bit of chaos. You had to be there, sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I laughed too, because anytime they said we're live streaming this, and I'm like, well, can't you stream all the other cameras? And I don't know, isn't this highly entertaining for anyone that's actually paying attention somewhere else?
Can't we trust the people at home to have a sense of humor and know what Sylvester McCoy looks like? Yeah,
like, if anything, I think this is more entertaining for them than sitting on a couch.
It's easy to see Neve. She was a very tall woman.
She did a really good job of trying to face the camera.
Yeah. But the next thing on our schedule was for our friend. Scott Adsit was there with Thrilling Adventure Hour.
Oh, that's when we met someone else.
Yes. Oh gosh, time to look up another Twitter name. My goodness.
I don't remember. You were very nice. It was very nice to meet you.
Yes.
I'm glad you were excited to meet me too.
Nipple Guard, which is the first time I've said nipple on this podcast. Go check out Nipple Guard on Twitter. He is a cool guy.
He was very nice. It was very cool to meet you.
Yes. But then we headed downstairs to see Scott Adsit, who was autographing with a bunch of other Thrilling Adventure Hour people. Scott Adsit was also the voice of Baymax in Big Hero 6.
Yes.
So while we were watching CM Punk, she was downstairs on the floor getting Baymax fan art prints.
Yes.
To be signed and give away as gifts.
Yes, which she got some really cool prints. I really like the ones she picked out.
Yeah. So you guys got in line.
Mm-hmm. Which was already a really long line.
And it was
over an hour. It was an hour before signing was supposed to start. It was super long.
So I went on my own adventure looking for some freebies, some shopping, some autographing.
Yes.
To kill time while you hung out and you made Texas friends.
Yes. We made friends with the people next to us who were from Texas. This was their first time in Chicago. They came up here
to see Haley Atwell.
The
rest of the show, but mostly Haley Atwell.
Yes. So they were having a great time, and we were just, they were telling my friend a lot about like what happened during the panel that we couldn't get into, and
she got a secondhand account. Yeah, it's something.
And talking about other stuff, which it's actually funny though. The people that then were behind them, I kind of overheard their conversation, and I'm pretty sure, if I heard right, this person is from about 30 minutes from where I grew up in Michigan.
Really?
Yep.
Someone in rural Michigan.
Well, they live in Canada, which is about 30 minutes away.
Canada's basically rural Michigan.
Yeah. I never talked to them, but from what I overheard, I was like, huh, small world. But yeah, so we chatted with the girls from Houston who were very nice. It helped pass the time. There was also family cosplaying as people.
The whole Pines family.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole Pines family from, well, plus Wendy, who's not in the family. From Gravity Falls. Family. So you had Grunkle Stan, Mabel, Dipper, and Wendy. Which was really cute, and it was actually fun because we were in line. I saw like the little girl like slap her dad, who was Grunkle Stan, and like pointing at me, and so I waved at them
because we haven't mentioned
I was dressed as Mabel that day. Yeah, we didn't get to that. I was in costume as Mabel that day.
Yeah.
I didn't get anyone asking for my picture, but I did get a lot of like poking and.
You got a lot more recognition.
A lot more recognition.
Because the thing with Wendy is she pretty much just wears clothes.
Yeah.
People looking around and wondering why you're wearing a heavy trapper hat indoors is the big thing with Wendy.
So those girls from Houston, at one point, they're like, so are you in costume as something? I'm like, yes. I don't, like, wear this all the time.
Yeah.
I don't dress like a weird 12-year-old.
Yeah, it's also a weird thing that whenever you're in that costume, I can't, like, smooch you because you look so 12 years old with all of it on. It's a good
costume, guys.
It's a creepy costume.
It de-ages me. It works magic.
I was glad when you changed into your pants later in the day, is all I'm going to say.
I was glad, too.
Yeah.
I was tired. And put on some, like, nice supportive shoes.
Yeah, real shoes that don't look like First Communion shoes.
Yeah.
But it really works for the outfit.
Yes, it's a great costume. But anyways, so that line, we slowly moved through it.
Do you want to get to a shopping interlude while we're covering the line?
Sure.
Let's talk about the real books. That's an incredibly rude thing to say, but the non-graphic books.
Okay. Well, you already talked about.
I talked about the two from Mary Robinette Kowal, but we got two others. One is Ocean at the End of the Lane, a novel by Neil Gaiman, which I bought from the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund booth, which is a place I visit every year because they sell only autographed editions, and it's a fundraiser for their legal defense fund activities.
Yes.
So I'm excited to read that. That's going to be cool.
Yes. And we also got from the Quirk Books stand.
Quirk Books is a weird publisher.
They are, but they publish a couple of my favorite books. But their Twitter said, like, if you come up and say this certain thing, you'll get a free gift. The free gift ended up being a book.
An advanced reader copy of the Big Bad Book of Bill Murray. It's it's over 250 pages of Bill Murray, not yet available in stores, and not yet with a final editing pass, for that matter.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. Like, they're giving really out this whole thing. Just for, saying this code word.
And a tote. It came with a tote.
It came with a tote, too, which that is a great tote.
Yeah.
So we got those. And that's the last of our books.
Yeah, I think that's the last of the books.
Books that we purchased.
It was a short shopping interlude. So what happened when we got through the Scott Adsit line?
Well, we didn't. We did not get through it.
We did not.
We got cut off. There were about 6 people in front of us. And they said they're done for the day signing. Which means that the only other thing our friend cared about that she went and bought prints for to get him to sign was not happening.
She had a third thing she wanted to do to see this Stan Lee spotlight on the main stage.
She gave it up to get this autograph.
To get the autograph.
That we got turned away from. She was upset. We were upset.
There was a meltdown. We had to split up. She had to have a moment.
Yeah, you need a moment to process, so. And we're like, yeah, it's a big disappointment.
Yeah.
And also we've been standing in line for like 2 hours by that point.
Yeah.
An hour before and the hour of the signing. So she sat down for a little bit, and we went and bought A print?
Yeah, we
I actually bought a print earlier in the day, too.
We got our final art and signature run.
Yes. So, earlier in the day, I had bought a really cool Doctor Who print.
Mm-hmm. From Catherine Satram.
Yes. They had a lot of really super cute stuff. I also bought a pin for my friend from there.
Yeah, but it's a cute pin.
The print's super cute. It's got TARDIS in the middle, all the doctors around it, cartoony. Hands. Really cute border with Alex and Cybermen. It's adorable. I love it. It reminds me very much of It's a Small World.
It does.
Which is great.
The figures are in the same sort of big-headed proportion as It's a Small World. Yeah.
Yeah. But that I got earlier in the day, actually. But then we went back for a print I had seen while getting that. And it's a huge fan of the Saga comics.
By Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples.
Yes. Absolutely adore them.
They're the best.
I got into them by getting the volumes, though, so I'm currently behind waiting for the next volume to come out. But this one guy had a Saga print that's done in the style of a Star Wars movie poster.
Yeah.
Which is just really cool.
So, yeah, it's got Grandma and the Ghost Babysitter where R2 and C-3PO stand in the poster, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
So we got that, which makes us super happy.
Mm-hmm. And that is from...
I forgot his first name, but the last name is Bacon.
Yeah.
Something Bacon. We're looking it up real quick to tell you.
Tom Bacon.
Tom Bacon. Super cool print.
It's a really cool idea. It's a really cool concept and composition.
Yeah, so I like those a lot.
And we also got one of the things I did while waiting in line was taking some of our books from home that we got previously to get signed by creators who are there in Artist Alley.
Yes.
Jeremy Bastain
does
the Cursed Pirate Girl book, which we've raved and gushed about many a time.
I adore it.
It's sort of a Edwardian adventure, sort of if Alice in Wonderland were about fantastical pirates.
Yeah.
And a little more dangerous.
Yeah. And also his style of drawing is incredibly detailed and amazing to look at.
He just draws in like fine tip Sharpie, but it looks like a crosshatch woodcut.
Yes.
And it's like nothing else in the world.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane to look at. And so you went and got it.
So I went, would you mind signing this? My wife loves your work, so do I. And I wrote your name down so we spelled it right. And I thought it'd just be like from Jeremy and maybe a little message. I don't know. But as soon as he opens up the book, he starts sketching the main character's head. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be one of those.
Yeah.
And then the inks start going down and it's this ridiculously detailed a headshot of the Cursed Pirate Girl just out of nowhere. Oh my goodness. Why thank you.
He didn't even just write my name. He stylized my name.
He scripted it like it's a medieval folio.
So when you brought it back and you showed me, I flipped out. It is the I was partially sad that I was not there to see this happen, but I flipped out at how cool it was. Because I just love his stuff. Also, now I have a little piece of something hand-drawn by him because there's no way I can afford any of the original stuff he sells.
His full original pieces are hundreds of dollars, and rightly so. They're amazing.
He deserves every penny of it.
Yeah.
I just don't have those pennies to give him. So that was amazing. You also got you tried to get something signed, but they weren't there.
Yeah, the first time I visited Ramon Perez's booth, he was working on commission sketches. Come back at 4, fine, whatever. I came back at 4. We were both perfectly polite about it because we're understanding people.
Yes.
But I came back and had him sign Tale of Sand.
He did the same thing.
He just opened it up and sketched a profile shot of the unnamed protagonist of Tale of Sand.
Yes, we watched.
Smoking a bent cigarette, and
it was awesome.
It was great.
Which our friend didn't see him doing that, and when we showed her the thing, we're like, "Isn't this cool?" She didn't realize that he had sketched it till I pointed it out because, like...
The interior cover already is sketches of that guy and the other characters, so...
But I was like, no, he just did this!
This one is special.
This is why it took so long. He wasn't just writing our name. And it was really cool. But yeah, so after we did...
to resolve that cliffhanger.
So after we did some of that stuff, we met back up with our friend, and there was, like, this jewelry stall we wanted to go back to check out. That we had passed earlier, and
on the way to it,
on the way to it, my friend like made this beeline all of a sudden out of the way, and I was like, "Where is she going?"
Yeah,
and then I realized that the guy we waited 2 hours for his signature was standing right there with like 3 people around him signing stuff.
Yeah.
So my friend like rushed up there, got in this little line. Was like begging the person in front of her if she could use their Sharpie, and she was able to get her stuff signed right there on the corner of one of the aisles. Which was just,
it saved the whole day. It saved the weekend, really.
I mean, yeah, she just had like the worst luck with stuff. So we were just like, yes!
Thank you so much, Scott Adsit, for making things work out for our dear friend.
Yes. And I mean, he was signing other people's stuff too and taking pictures. And the thing that's funny is like after she got it, we started to like walk away. We turned back. He was gone already.
Yeah.
Like somehow he had caught him in like the 5 minutes he was standing on that corner.
And there were so many things that could have gone wrong. If we hadn't split up, if we hadn't taken a moment to breathe and text people
and to go get art and to do that, like if any of our timing had been off, that would not have happened.
It's an amazing piece of serendipity. And it was magical.
So it was great. She was like,
Scott Adsit is a magic man.
She was on a high after that of just how awesome it was, and it was really cool. And so then we went to that jewelry place that we originally wanted to go to.
You got a really cute necklace.
Yes.
She got some things, one for her, one for a friend.
Yes. My necklace is awesome, though. It's Tangled themed. So it has a little frying pan charm.
It's something that isn't Stitch related. So there you go.
It's got a little frying pan charm and a little charm that says, "I know, right?" Because the frying pan's a great weapon. And it's just super cute. That place had a bunch of other stuff I would buy, too.
If you're curious, it's called Sparkle Designs.
Yes. I believe they have a website, but I'm not sure if they actually sell off their website. I need to research that.
Sparkle Designs also sponsored the Supernatural Fan Forum on Friday.
They did.
They were doing giveaways for, like, I think they had one for First Question and some other random stuff to give away to people. Yeah, which is cute.
Their stuff was super cool there, though. They have lots of, nerdy fan-related things.
Which is what you bring to a pop culture convention.
Yes. But they had like stuff that was very much like obvious that's what it was, and then other stuff that was a lot more subtle that was really cool.
But then there's one last story on our way out.
Yes.
When we did one final walkthrough, last chance for things.
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to do like, we had hit up like a couple of aisles of Artist Alley like the first day, and I was like, well, I want to go past those again just to see if I want anything, because I remember there was stuff I kind of liked. And I stopped at this one booth that had prints that were adorable.
Yeah, they were great.
Lots of Disney stuff. There was a Stitch thing that I really liked where it was like Lilo and Stitch on like this cliff looking out at like Pacific Rim happening.
Yeah.
And there was like a Frozen one that was very much It's a Small World style. Lots of other ones that were really cool too. And I was in my costume with my homemade Waddles.
Right. One of a kind original Waddles.
This guy's like, "I love your Waddles. Did you make it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I made it." And he's like, "Oh, can I see it?" And so I'm like, "Yeah, you can look at it." And then he asks if I would trade it for some of his prints.
And then, as you're thinking about it, he asks if you trade it for 3 of his prints.
Yes. Or, I could make a deal. However I want that deal to be. And I'm like, I can't give up Waddles.
Yeah.
I made Waddles. Waddles is mine. I'm attached to Waddles. So I was trying to be like, well, you don't want my used Waddles. I'll make you a new Waddles for Prince.
But no, he wanted your Waddles.
He wanted my Waddles.
It was for the he wanted to steal your sentimental value.
Yes. It's like, no. Can't. So I did not give him Waddles. I also did not buy any of his prints.
Yeah.
Though if this all probably wouldn't have started, I probably would have bought a print. But then
and
it was
you
just...
still may.
I
they were
may
really good
eventually
stuff.
Go back and get some from if he sells online or if he's on another thing. But they were really cool. It was pretty funny. But it's my Waddles. Waddles comes home with me. Then we made a last trip to pick up another pop figure.
Yes. Because there was room in the suitcase for one more.
Who knows how 10 fit in a suitcase?
That suitcase, and she could have gotten an even bigger one.
Wait, was it 10 or was it 20?
I thought it was like 12.
12?
I don't know.
Was it 12? It was 12. That's what it was. But yeah, so we kind of slowly made it towards the front, and we were done.
Yeah, that was the show.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of like amazing costumes and stuff we saw too, but that's the show. That's what happened. And yeah, it was really fun.
Do you want to finish our food chat?
Sure.
And wrap up Sunday, right?
So Sunday we trekked up to the Mag Mile area where the Water Tower Mall is. And went to the Food Life Cafe. That is in like the basement of Water Tower.
The mezzanine.
My friend has a salad there that she like dreams of when she's not here. And it's actually like, it's got some good food. It's a place where they give you like a card and you can order anything you want and they just swipe your card and then you pay at the end.
It's basically
it's a food court, but you pay at the end.
It's like a museum or hospital-style food court where there's different stations for different kinds of food, but with better food.
Yeah. So she's a big fan of the salads and the milkshakes.
Yeah.
Got some killer mac and cheese, though, at, like, the rotisserie place. It's not like the must go here for the cuisine place. But, you know, if you're up that way and you need a good place to stop with, like, people wanting all different stuff, that's a good place to go.
If you suddenly get hungry while you're at the Lego store or American Girl place.
And one of you really wants tacos and the other one really wants pasta, that's the place to go.
Where else are you gonna go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and then we tried to get some Garrett's popcorn on the way home for her, too, but they were already closed. Because Mag Mile shuts down at 7 on a Sunday.
So, yeah, now that we've covered pretty much everything we did... another funny thing that might turn out to be a only funny if you were there thing. The last time we were walking through Artist Alley, and we heard someone just shout, "Damn it!"
Oh, yeah!
And I'm wondering, Was
it damn it? I really thought they said fuck.
Either way. It's the sort of thing that turns your head when you're just having a nice time and you wonder, why is someone so upset? And I turn around and I see a grown man playing with a Barbie doll.
He was trying to dress the Barbie.
I don't know what was going on there, but I was rather confused.
It was the scream of swear word where you think someone cut off their finger.
Yeah. But
all you see is a man trying to dress a Barbie doll. So that was something.
Someone was having a bad day, and I'm not entirely sure why.
It was pretty funny, though.
Yeah.
Everyone turned and was really confused. And he did not look up. He was so, like, busy with that Barbie.
So, okay, some summary questions to sort of put a cap on it. What were some of your favorite costumes you saw walking around?
Favorite costumes, man. That's a good question.
I'm gonna have to go with Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
Yeah, that was great.
Although I will point out that they had Sweetums, who is not a member of the Electric Mayhem, and they failed to have Zoot, who is. I don't know if the person who should have been Zoot just was really into Sweetums. I get that. I'm really into Sweetums.
There's also the Manamanas.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were great.
And if we're just going to talk Muppets, there were some Sesame Street characters, including news reporter Kermit.
I really liked, there were a billion princesses and a billion Frozen ones, but I loved the ballerina ones.
Yeah.
The Elsa, Anna, and Olaf that were ballerinas. Like, they had ballet really shoes around their necks. They were tutu outfits. That was really unique.
It's also a good way to abstract a character that's not person-shaped like Olaf.
Yes.
Also, there was a woman dressed as Baymax, but she was just in a doctor's coat with like the pain chart.
Yeah.
And she had a pillbox hat with his, face, which is just eyes on it.
Her doctor coat said Dr. Baymax.
Dr. Baymax, yeah.
I like that. That was super cute.
It was a cute idea.
There was someone that was Unikitty.
There was an incredible Psycho Mantis. No, not Psycho Mantis. Gray Fox. What am I thinking?
That crazy costume from Book of Life. I've never seen Book of Life, but that was an awesome costume.
I saw it credited as Xibalba, so I'm guessing he's the big bad guy of Book of Life.
It was nuts.
It was 10 feet tall.
And it like glowed and stuff. It was just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy not for the costume's sake, but the Ninja Turtle meets Donkey Kong.
Oh, yes. There was a full suit Donkey Kong who's dancing and posing. And then there was a full Michelangelo who pretty much looked like he stepped out of one of the movies.
Yep.
Maybe Ninja Turtles 3, but one of the movies. And he was just like photobombing and dancing behind him. And the poor Donkey Kong person
couldn't see.
Knew he was getting a huge reaction, but did not have the vision to see why.
I really liked the Eve and Wally that was also walking around with that toothless.
Oh, yeah. And they were all like human versions.
Yeah.
So Wally was a guy with striped sleeves and yellow overalls and goggles.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
So cool.
He was carrying around like the lunchbox, and he had like a broom that was covered in Christmas lights.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Eve like matched with like a white dress and stuff. Super cute.
And, very modern haircut, very modern fashion cut.
There's also a really cool girl dressed as Toothless that was wearing like all black, like leather coat and pants. But then she had this awesome toothless tail and wings coming off her back that you couldn't see unless you were looking at her from the back. And it looked really cool.
And his forehead scales and face paint.
Yeah.
Really good. Oh, the reversible Lego Batman, Lego Superman.
Yes. That was pretty.
It was one suit painted to look like Batman on the front, Superman on the back, and with a cape attached by Velcro. So like, oh, I'm Superman. Oh, wait, turn around. Have my handler switch the cape to the other side. Now I'm Batman.
Yeah. There was a Felicity Smoke, which made me, from Arrow, that made me super happy. Because it's a super subtle costume, but it was like perfectly done.
It's another costume that's pretty much just clothes and plastic frame glasses.
But, she had her hair done perfectly. She had the right shoes. But the thing that made me really happy was she was wearing like little Lego Flash earrings, which was just like perfect.
Yeah. I wonder if she had earrings every day for all the superheroes she smooched.
Maybe.
3 days, 3 superheroes. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think what other. There were a lot of really cool costumes.
There was the one Cinderella yesterday. Yeah. Like recent movie Cinderella.
Yes.
The animated Cinderella.
It was a very cool costume.
Very good. Very good.
Spot on with the colors and everything.
And of course, because it was Kids' Day, she was getting stopped every 3 feet.
That I saw when we were going to the escalator this one day. I saw this little girl. She was dressed up, I think, as a Ninja Turtle, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. Getting her picture with a girl dressed as Ariel. And as soon as her picture was done, she did like one of those like little kid really excited dances where they just can't control their bodies and was like flipping out over it as soon as the picture was done. And it was awesome. And it's like moments like that are what kind of just make it, is where And I loved it that she was a Ninja Turtle and was so excited over The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a great kid.
Okay, favorite purchase of ours?
Purchase.
It's hard because we haven't read the books yet.
Yeah, honestly. I haven't read the books. I really like my necklace.
Your necklace is really cute.
I love my art. I always love my Katie Cook art. Yeah. And my prints. Do you have a favorite purchase?
I'm gonna have to go with the Sylvester McCoy autograph, which is right now inside my homemade mic stand.
Well, that's just appropriate.
Yeah. I would ask favorite bit of programming, but it's obviously the Doctor Who panel that could not be contained.
Could not be contained. You can't contain that man. Yes.
So I guess more in general, favorite moment?
Sylvester McCoy panels.
Still the same, yeah.
I mean, just like him wandering through everything and realizing that this is actually happening and this is what it is.
What are you gonna do? Come on.
It was great.
It was the best.
I had so much fun.
It was the best.
I mean, I guess if I have to pick, I suppose that should be like a separate thing, and we should pick like a different moment outside of anything to do with Sylvester McCoy.
Then it'd probably have to be the magical moment where we found Scott Adsit in the aisles.
Yeah. And
how that rescued a whole weekend, basically.
Yeah. That was great. That was just one of those moments.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I was saying at the top, the middle kind of sucked, but by the end, it was a great weekend. Yeah. All told.
Yes, it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
All in all.
So that's our content. So I'd like to finish up by thanking you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed this special supplemental. Also, feel free to give us a rating and review on iTunes. If you do, you'll be my best friend. And share this with a friend. Speaking of friends, tell people how much you like our stuff, especially if you're telling the truth, because people can tell. And with that, do you have any final thoughts for the folks at home, darling?
Not really.
Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Sure, might as well. I mean, if you're listening to this, I'm sure you probably know my Twitter because he tweets me all the time.
Don't assume this is going out on YouTube, on iTunes.
I guess. Well,
a lot of places that aren't just Twitter.
You can follow me at Snuggle_Beast on Twitter. I also run an Etsy shop. The shop name is Mad Fuzz.
All one word?
All one word. So you can find that at etsy.com/shop/Mad Fuzz if you want to go directly there, or just search Mad Fuzz. I sell lots of handmade knit items. Right now, mostly hats and headbands for adults and for children.
Yes, baby hats.
But I will be releasing more items as time goes on.
Your baby hats are really cute.
They're very, very cute.
And if people haven't been turned off by buying like nerd-related things, some of your baby hats look a lot like Ninja Turtles.
They do. They don't have like eyeballs or anything, but it's totally Ninja Turtle-y.
I think the first one was accidental.
It's totally accidental. I'm going with this.
And then you realized you had all the other colors.
Yeah. So check this out. They're really cool. Let people know that might be interested in it. I've been knitting for a long time, but the shop's kind of new, even though I've been selling to people for a long time as well. So all the, I guess, word you can get out there helps.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, I'm going to say goodnight on the thanks of the two of, I'm going to say goodnight on behalf of the two of us.
Yeah.
And also Chip, who couldn't be here this weekend because of scheduling things.
Sad.
But I'm sure he'll enjoy hearing about all the fun and some of the frustration he missed out on.
Yeah.
So all that's left to say is goodnight, folks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.